Hi, it's Jill from Jilly Bean Studio. I hope you can come along today for some fun playing with scraps. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back. I love to play with scraps for sure on this channel. Been making some of these cute dragonflies. I also love to art journal, junk journal. So I hope you find some ideas here and also share your own. Lately, I've been working on Junk Journal July, and some of the prompts from, well, I think we're into about day 10 or so at the time of this posting. And this is the cute little journal I made. It's made out of Bristol paper with some splashy watercolors. I've been using paint pens and gel pens and kind of going through the first week or so of the prompts. I also decided to run a scan of this splashy kind of watercolor technique and decided to make some reverse coloring book pages. So if you're interested in those are free and I'll link them below. They are in my Ko-fi app. I'm loving the colors. I love this sari silk as a little bit of a wrap of a closure. Here's more. I've been chopping up the, the coloring page to play with myself. Yeah, so this first part of the video, I'm going to go through the prompts for Junk Journal July, and then I have a little bit of a journal with me using up some of my scraps. So this first one is Spark, and I decided to do a little art collage spread because definitely I'm inspired and sparked by colors and all the art supplies. This is a cute little Pantone postcard. I love that garnet color, and I used a white paint pen to just doodle a little bit, that ladybug. For prompt number 3, fold and labels, I combine my prompts sometimes a lot. I went and did some of the doodling on the reverse coloring page and folded that into a pocket, and then you'll see a bunch of little labels around the 4th of July, an apple pie label. This page is more of the lettering on the right. I did ocean on that reverse coloring page again, added a little shell. And then on the left, I used my scraps to make that cute little dragonfly. Been playing around with that a bit for wildlife, which would bring us, I think, to prompt number 6. Ooh, more scraps. They're everywhere, friends. Left is the window prompt. I think that's prompt number 7. And I decided to do just a little bit of a border there with that micron pen. Has a, I don't know, a bit of a stained glass effect. I like that look. And then dug deep into the stash. I was looking for some kind of the washi style stickers, and I put a few of those at the bottom. And then on the right for observe, which is prompt 8, I had a coloring page in there, and I just doodled a little bit the letters observe and stuck more of those stickers on, splashed a little bit of watercolor, and pulled out some cute washi. I love this washi. That is adorable. I also had this old school library card, so I did a little splashy watercolor there and some collage, doodled a bird, and part of that was to observe as well. We had some new birds, and it was so funny the way they were flying around in the beginning. You could tell they were fledglings, and they were so wobbly. That was, I think, a fun observation that I just popped in the journal. And that brings us just about up to today with, well, today would be the 10th, but I played a little bit with scraps yesterday and more today. And then I'm also going to do something with the thread prompt, which is prompt number 11. So look at that, friends, the whole first column of the Junk Journal July prompts. Oh, and by the way, I don't know what I was saying about size last time. I was estimating, but this journal is actually smaller than 5 by 7. I think it's 5 7/8, and like, I don't know, 4 1/4. So yeah, it's a little bit smaller than I thought. Just an update there. Okay, so let's get playing with scraps here. I'm going to pull some. Let me organize this a little bit, get this in screen. So I had a great time over the last day or so playing with scraps. Look at that cute little dragonfly. That turned out to be prompt number 6. How easy is that? I took a few teardrop or raindrop shapes, made a little bit of a cone shape, and then just a little half circle for the top of the dragonfly's head. Yeah, so this is one of those things I think that you can sit with all the little bits of book text. I have some old dyed papers, some scrapbook papers, and make, a few simple shapes. These are kind of petal shapes. That could be a cute flower. And play around, see what you come up with. Circles are always a go-to, and I think a lot of us have circle punches in our stash. And I don't know about you, but I always feel good when I'm using the supplies that I have. And as the little bits and pieces of the book text and scrapbook paper that we have get smaller and smaller, it's nice to find a way to use those as well in our journals. And by the way, I know I've talked a lot about Junk Journal July inspiring me, and sometimes you have those certain channels that you are go-to channels. I want to give a shout out to Caroline on the Hillside, because almost every time I think about scraps, there I go, Caroline, I'm thinking about you and scraps. I do think about Caroline on the Hillside because she is one of those journalers that I really appreciate. She'll look around, she does a lot of upcycling, and all of a sudden you'll see these scrappy bits turned into beautiful little collage spreads and tags and pieces of art. So check out Caroline. She is one of those channels that all the time gives me inspiration as well. All right, so moving on to the prompt today for Junk Journal July. We are at the end of the column, and that is thread. So technically, I'm not sure what I am using, if it's thread or string. I think it might be, ooh, wait friends, I see a mushroom here. Gotta stop for a minute. Do you do this? I see the shape of a mushroom. Oh my. Yep, just in the way the paper is folded. Gonna sketch that right in with the micron. Don't you love journaling? All of a sudden, one thing leads to another. Okay. There, we now have a mushroom. Didn't expect that. What I'm going to use today, I think, is crochet thread. It's definitely one of those things I dug out from my stash, and I thought it would be really cute to do a little bit. Here it is. A little bit of a border. I'm not even going to use a needle. I'm going to use my handmade needle, which is a piece of clear tape. I love that little mushroom that just appeared, by the way. Snip it in a little bit of a point. There we go. And I'm going to punch some holes. Also, to mention Caroline again, I saw her do this recently in kind of a paper doll effect, that she was adding some texture to her page. Another reason to check out Caroline. And this is a very small hole punch. It seems to be just enough to kind of pull a piece of string through. I don't know the size, but it's a mini. And for this prompt, I thought I'd leave it pretty simple. I think it will add nice texture along with that sweet bit of lace and add a little thread border. So please let me know in the comments below what you've been enjoying, how your art journaling, junk journaling, whatever journaling you love is going. I think I've done Junk Journal July. This might be my 3rd year. Let's see, this hole punch will go right through that pretty lace. Yeah, and I think it's evolved over the years. There's certainly a lot more collaborators. But I think the junk journaling community is very generous. There are so many channels and so many ways that people create in a junk journal. I'm always inspired by all the different techniques and materials and simply the fun of making things. Now this is a little tricky. I'm not exactly sure. I just decided to knot a little bit over through the binding, and I'm really just rigging this up here. I suppose I could have gone all the way around the page. That might have been more helpful, but I'm gonna give it a little loop through the binding. I happen to be in the center of the journal, so I'm just making do right now. And I think I will add a little bit of glue to the knots. There we go. I probably could have gone all the way down the other side of the page, but this seems to work just as well. Okay. So again, please comment. I would love to know what you are enjoying in your Junk Journal July adventure if you are participating. And I think I'm going to finish up with a few more of these cute little bits. I have this one little section on the side here. Now this is the last little end of an envelope page. And I think I'm going to put a few circles down. Some of those circle scraps and fill in. Tiny little pocket there. Love a cute little pocket. All right. That's all for today, friends. I hope that you are enjoying your creating and junk journaling. I really appreciate you stopping by the channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.